Gerald Morrison cleared his throat for the third time in 2 minutes. Some people do that when they're nervous. Estate lawyers do it when they're about to read a will that will make someone in the room very angry. 7 days after my father's funeral, I sat in Morrison's conference room. Across the table, my brother Marcus, our sister Claire, our mother, and Morrison himself, who was being paid to deliver news. My 14-year-old son sat next to me. He'd asked to come. I said yes. Marcus was texting. Didn't look up when Morrison opened the folder. We're here to execute the last will and testament of Robert. We can skip the formalities. Marcus put his phone down. Dad and I talked about this. Company goes to me. Everyone knows it. Morrison paused mid-sentence. Looked at me. I gave him nothing. My brother abandoned the family business 8 years ago. Marcus leaned back. That posture people use when they've already won and want you to know it. Went off to pursue his creative career or whatever. Dad always said the business goes to the son who actually stayed. Claire looked at her hands. Mom was crying. She'd been crying since the funeral. Marcus stood up. So thanks for making it official, Gerald. Now we can move forward without... He looked directly at me. The failure who walked out. My son's hand tightened on his chair. Marcus smiled. Doors that way. I stood, picked up my jacket. Sir, we haven't, Morrison tried. Yes, we have, Marcus said. He's leaving. I walked to the door. My son followed. Hand on the doorknob, I stopped. Marcus. What? Still smiling. Did Dad ever tell you why I left the business? Because you couldn't handle real work. He said it the way people state obvious facts. Because you're weak. Interesting. I opened the door. See you in 30 days. The smile cracked. What? 30 days. I looked at Morrison. State law requires it, right? Morrison's face was very carefully neutral. That's correct. I left. 8 years earlier, my father pulled me aside at a construction site. Jackhammers, concrete dust, the smell of diesel in progress. He handed me a folder without saying anything. Inside, printed emails, client complaints. 3 in 1 month. Marcus is destroying relationships I spent 30 years building. I read them. Same pattern every time. Marcus promising things we couldn't deliver. Marcus blaming other people when projects went wrong. Marcus treating clients like they should be grateful we took their money. Fire him, I said. He's my son. So am I. Dad looked at the building going up behind us. I love him. I don't trust him with my legacy. Then don't give it to him. I'm asking you to come back, silent partner. I stopped. What? You contribute capital, manage the real client relationships. Make the actual decisions. Marcus keeps doing the ceremonial stuff. The networking, the public appearances, he never knows. Why would I do that? Because someone needs to protect what I built. He turned to face me. And you're the only person I trust to do it. We stood there. Construction noise filled the silence. Everything in writing, I said. Legal partnership agreement, filed with the state. No handshake deals. Agreed. Partnership papers signed that week. 50,000 initial capital from me. 51% operational control in the agreement. Dad retained ownership until death. Filed with the state. Completely legal. Completely secret. Marcus never knew. So this guy spent 8 years secretly running his dad's company while his brother thought he was the boss. That's not revenge. That's a long game. For 8 years, I ran the company Marcus thought he owned. 14 major clients. Every contract negotiation. Every dispute. Every project decision that actually mattered. Marcus did ribbon cuttings. Chamber of Commerce dinners. Golf tournaments. The parts of business that look like work but aren't. I documented everything. Client complaints about Marcus. 37 over 8 years. Mistakes he made that I fixed. 12, totaling 180,000 in damages. Every email between Dad and me. Every decision. Every dollar I contributed. 340,000 over 8 years. Capital injections. Emergency funds. Covering Marcus's incompetence. Clients thought I was senior project manager. They had no idea about ownership. Dad sent encrypted emails weekly, updates, questions, strategic decisions. Marcus saw me as his employee. Dad's favorite, maybe, but still just an employee. I built separate files, client databases, relationship maps, IP documentation. Everything that made the company worth $891,000 annually. My home office had more file cabinets than most tax accountants. Why? Because Dad asked me to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. And because I learned early, if you do something, make it so well documented that no lawyer can touch it. 6 months before Dad died, he called me to the hospital. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The kind where they give you a timeline instead of a treatment plan. He didn't call Marcus, he called me. I created 2 wills. I sat in the chair next to his bed. Those hospital chairs designed to be uncomfortable enough that visitors don't stay too long. Why 2? The first one's filed with Morrison, leaves the company to Marcus if you decline. I'm not declining. I know, that's the point. He shifted. Hospital gowns make everyone look diminished. The second will is filed separately, with the state, sealed. Leaves you 73%. Marcus gets 27% conditional on 5 years employment. Under you. That's elaborate. It's a test. Dad looked at me. Still had that look that cut through excuses. At the reading, if Marcus shows humility, respect, understanding, I was wrong about him. You destroy the real will. Give him the company. And if he doesn't, then you execute the real will and protect what we built. We spent 6 months preparing. IP transfers to a new LLC. Dad co-signed everything. All legal. Personal contracts with every major client. Not as company rep. As me. Relationships that would survive ownership changes. Documentation of every mistake Marcus made. Every complaint. Every dollar wasted. New company structure. Ready to activate. The real will requires a 30-day waiting period, Dad explained. State law. After the first reading, he gets 30 days to contest. Then the second will becomes enforceable. Why wait? Character reveals itself in victory more than defeat. 3 days before he died, Dad's last words to me. If he calls you a failure, you'll know what to do. The dad literally set up a character test from beyond the grave. And spoiler alert, Marcus failed it in under 60 seconds. Dad's final month was hospice care and morphine. Marcus visited twice, under 20 minutes each time. Had client meetings. I visited daily. Medical decisions. Estate coordination. Making sure every document was filed correctly. Dad used those final conversations to walk me through everything. Safe deposit box location. Sealed will. Partnership files. Every detail. I made you executor, he said one afternoon. Words slow but clear. Marcus doesn't know. He'll be angry. He'll be broke if he doesn't take the deal. Dad also recorded a video. 8 minutes. Explaining his decision. Filmed 8 months before his death. Completely lucid. Insurance against claims I manipulated a dying man. He died on a Tuesday morning. Marcus arrived 4 hours later. Client meeting ran long. Funeral was Saturday. 200 people. Standing room only. Marcus gave the eulogy. Continuing Dad's legacy. Honoring his vision. Taking the company to new heights. 17 people congratulated him on inheriting the business. 23 asked me if I was coming back. We'll see what the will says. Marcus told people at the reception he was inheriting Dad's construction empire, I observed. Took notes. Will reading scheduled for the following Tuesday. Everything ready. Trap set. Marcus had no idea what was coming. 8 years of preparation, 6 months of legal groundwork, 30 days of waiting. Dad designed a character test. Marcus just had to pass it. Show humility. Show respect. Show understanding. Instead, he called me a failure. Twice. In front of my son. Test concluded. Marcus failed. The real will be executed in exactly 30 days. My brother had absolutely no idea. The family group chat lit up the morning after the will reading. Marcus posted first. Official news, I'm inheriting Dad's company. Exciting changes coming. Claire responded within minutes. Congratulations emoji. Dad would be so proud. Mom's message appeared next. You'll do wonderful things with his legacy, sweetheart. I read the messages, put my phone down, went back to my coffee. Marcus called an emergency company meeting that afternoon. 14 employees crammed into the conference room at the old office. I know this because 3 of them texted me during the meeting. Marcus stood at the head of the table, Dad's old seat, announced his vision for the company's future new leadership expansion into commercial development aggressive revenue targets. The employees nodded, said very little. Tom, senior foreman, 18 years with the company, the guy who actually knows how to build things, finally spoke up. Where does this leave the rest of the team? What team? Marcus asked. Your brother, the project managers, the existing structure. My brother is no longer with the company. The kind of silence that followed is hard to describe. It's not just quiet. It's the sound of 14 people simultaneously realizing something is very wrong, but knowing they can't say it out loud. Marcus tried to access the company bank accounts that evening. Transaction denied. He called the bank, explained he was the new owner. The will had been read. He needed access. We'll need legal documentation of ownership transfer, probate court certification. How long does that take? 30 to 60 days minimum. He tried to pay a vendor invoice the next morning. Same result. Blocked. He called me. Voicemail. Texted. Need to discuss transition details. I was having lunch with my son when the text arrived. Deleted it without responding. Marcus posted on Facebook that night. Photo of himself sitting at Dad's desk. Caption about new chapters and leading the family business into the future. 47 people liked it, including Claire and Mom. I didn't. Over the next few days, Marcus discovered what it's like to own something you can't actually touch. He tried to sign a contract with a new client. Small commercial project, $60,000 job, the kind of work Dad would have knocked out in his sleep. Turned out Marcus didn't have signing authority. The company bylaws required 2 signatures for contracts over $50,000, his and mine. He called the bank again. Different question this time. I need access to the company's safe deposit box. That box requires 2 authorized signatures. I'm the owner. The box authorization lists Robert Chen and another individual. You'll need both signatures to access. The other individual was me. Marcus started calling clients. Just wanted to introduce myself as the new owner. Looking forward to continuing our relationship. First client, Henderson Development, worth $200,000 annually, said they'd wait to hear from me before discussing future projects. Second client, Riverside Commercial, another $150,000 annual, said their contracts were with me personally, not the company. Third client, Martinez Construction Supply, wanted to schedule a meeting. With me present. Marcus called 14 clients over 3 days. Got 14 variations of the same answer. He tried accessing company files on the server. Passwords changed. Called our IT contractor, guy named Dennis who'd been managing our systems for 6 years. System maintenance. We migrated everything to a secure backup. Where's the backup? You'd need to ask your brother about that. Marcus attempted 14 different business actions over those 3 days. Blocked on all 14. He told his wife it was administrative delays. Normal probate stuff. Nothing to worry about. She believed him. For now. While Marcus was discovering the limits of paper ownership, I was building something real. I met with all 14 employees individually. Coffee shops mostly. Private conversations. Same format every time. Same question. Who do you actually report to? All 14 gave me the same answer. You. Good. Wait 25 more days, then call this number. I handed each one a business card. New company, LLC. New address. Same work. Tom, the foreman, looked at the card for a long time before putting it in his wallet. You always were the one actually running things. Dad knew that. Marcus didn't? Marcus knew what he wanted to know. I signed a lease on new office space, 847 Industrial Parkway, 2 miles from the old location. Larger, better equipment, more parking. My corporate lawyer, not Morrison, a different guy who specialized in business transitions, confirmed everything was ready. All IP transfers complete. All contracts properly assigned to the new LLC. All equipment purchases documented. Day 30. Execute the full transfer. You're sure about the timing? State law requires it. I visited all 14 major clients over those same few days. Not as new owner, just checking in after Dad's death. They offered condolences, asked about the business, discussed ongoing projects. I confirmed what they already suspected. Our relationship continues. They seemed relieved. I moved $250,000 into the new LLC bank account, purchased equipment, ordered furniture, set up insurance and bonding, everything legal, everything documented, everything ready to activate the moment the real will executed. While Marcus was playing CEO at the empty office, this guy was literally building a new company 2 miles away, with the same employees, same clients, same equipment. Marcus owned a shell. Around day 10, Marcus's wife started asking questions. When does the money actually start flowing? Soon, just administrative delays. That's what Marcus told her. According to the text he sent Claire anyway. Claire forwarded it to Mom. Mom mentioned it during a phone call she made to me that I didn't answer. Family group chats are terrible for secrets. Marcus tried to schedule a meeting with the company's business lawyer. Not Morrison, the guy who handled contracts and corporate filings. I can't discuss estate matters until probate closes. When does probate close? 30 days minimum from the will reading. Marcus started researching. Late nights. Google searches about multiple wills and probate law. He found something. I know because he called Morrison. Could there be other wills, besides the one you read? Morrison's answer was technically accurate. I read the will filed with our office. Are there other wills? You'd need to check state probate records. Marcus hung up. Spent the next hour on the state probate website. Found it. Second will. Filed separately. Sealed. Reading required by law. His hands were shaking when he called me. I know because he mentioned it in the voicemail. 23 calls in 1 hour. I let everyone go to voicemail. Finally texted back, "Busy, talk soon." His response came in seconds. "There's another will. Call me. See you at the reading." He stopped calling after that. Also stopped sleeping, according to Claire, who heard it from Marcus's wife, who was starting to realize things weren't as settled as Marcus claimed. Day 30, a mailman delivered a registered letter to Marcus's house. Signature required. Marcus signed. The mailman drove away. Marcus stood in his driveway holding an envelope with official court letterhead. I know the exact moment he opened it because my phone showed the time when he started calling again. The letter was brief, professional, legally required. Mandatory second will reading. State Probate Law Section 47.3. Reading scheduled 5 days out. Attendance required. Failure to attend could result in forfeiture of inheritance. Marcus called his own lawyer. A guy named Richard, something who specialized in estate disputes. This is legitimate? Very. There's another will on file. State law requires a reading if multiple wills exist. What does this mean? It means there's a second legal will filed separately from the first. Can I contest it? Not until we see what it says. Marcus showed his wife the letter that evening. She asked the question he'd been avoiding. I thought everything was settled. It was. This is just a formality. A formality that requires a lawyer? No answer to that. Marcus posted nothing on social media. First silence in 30 days. He called Mom and Claire. Did they know about a second will? Both said no. Both sounded confused. He tried calling me one more time. I answered. See you Tuesday, Marcus. Hung up before he could respond. 5 days until the real reading. Everything Marcus thought he had was about to disappear. He just didn't know how thoroughly yet. Marcus arrived at the probate court with his lawyer, Richard something. Estate disputes, specialist, expensive suit, confident walk. The kind of lawyer who bills in 6-minute increments and considers it generous. I was already there. So was my lawyer, corporate guy named James who'd been handling the business transitions. Claire and Mom sat in the back row. Required witnesses. Court clerk notary. Everyone the state requires for this kind of thing. Marcus sat across from me, looked at me like he was about to win something. Whatever this is, we'll fix it. I didn't respond. The probate judge entered. Woman in her 50s. Been doing this long enough that nothing surprises her anymore. She explained state law. Multiple filed wills require multiple readings. Standard procedure, nothing unusual. She confirmed the second will's authenticity. State seal. Proper notarization. Filed 8 months before Dad's death. Marcus looked at me. You knew about this? For 8 years. His lawyer leaned in. Whispered something. Marcus's jaw tightened. The judge handed Gerald Morrison the sealed envelope. Morrison opened it. Removed a document. 14 pages. Legal binding visible even from across the table. Marcus watched Morrison's face. Looking for tells. Found nothing. Morrison began reading. The estate of Robert Chen, being of sound mind and body, hereby bequeaths the following assets. Standard legal language. Morrison's voice steady. Professional. Chen Construction Company, currently valued at $891,000, is hereby divided as follows. Marcus leaned forward. 73% ownership to, Morrison said my name, who has served as silent business partner since 2018. The color drained from Marcus's face. Actually drained. Like someone pulled a plug. Mom gasped. Hand over mouth. Claire's mouth fell open. Morrison continued. 27% ownership to Marcus Chen, conditional upon satisfactory completion of 5-year probationary employment under my name again, with annual salary of $68,000, quarterly performance reviews, and standard employment terms as outlined in Section 7. Marcus stood up. Chair scraped loudly. This is fraud. The judge didn't look up. Sit down, we're not finished. He sat. Morrison pulled out supporting documentation, started stacking it on the table. Partnership agreement from 2018. 47 pages. My capital contributions. $340,000 over 8 years. Bank statements. Wire transfer confirmations. Tax returns showing my business income from the partnership. Email correspondence. 126 emails between Dad and me. Strategic decisions. Client management. Company direction. Client testimonials. 14 written statements. All confirming I manage their accounts personally. The stack grew. 3 inches high. Morrison read the final clause. All intellectual property, client contracts, equipment leases, and trade secrets are held in trust by my name a third time. Per Partnership Agreement Section 12. Marcus looked at the documents. At me. At the documents again. Understanding hit him like a truck. The company without me was nothing. Empty. Worthless. He stole my inheritance. The judge looked at him over her glasses. The will is legally sound, filed properly, supported by extensive documentation. She held up a page. State filing stamp dated 8 months before your father's death. Long before his illness affected his judgment. Marcus's lawyer was speed-reading the partnership agreement. Flipping pages. Looking for something to challenge. Found nothing. 8 years. This dad and his son ran a secret business partnership for 8 years, and the other son never noticed he wasn't actually in charge. That's not just clever, that's surgical. Marcus's lawyer finished reading. Leaned over. Whispered to Marcus. Marcus's face went from red to pale to something close to gray. This is airtight, the lawyer said quietly. Not quietly enough. No grounds for contest. There has to be something. Partnership agreement is registered. Capital contributions are proven. Client relationships are documented. The lawyer closed the file. I'm sorry. Marcus turned to Mom. Did you know about this? She was crying. Again. Your father never told me. Claire? Claire shook her head. I had no idea. Marcus looked at me. Really looked at me. Like he was seeing me for the first time. How long were you planning this? 8 years, 2 months, 17 days. You manipulated him when he was dying. I pulled out my phone, played the video. Dad's face filled the screen. Sitting in his home office. Healthy. Alert. 8 months before the cancer diagnosis. His voice clear. I'm creating 2 wills. The first is a test. If Marcus shows humility and respect at the reading, I was wrong about him. Destroy the real will. But if he shows entitlement and cruelty, if he calls his brother a failure, then execute this will. Protect what we built. Marcus watched. His face crumbled. The video ended. The judge looked at Marcus's lawyer. Any questions about the will's validity? No, Your Honor. Then the will is executed. Ownership transferred as stated. This hearing is concluded. She left. Clerk and notary followed. Marcus sat there, staring at the table. I collected my documents, filed them in my briefcase. Marcus stormed out. His lawyer followed. Mom approached me, eyes red. Why didn't you tell us? Dad asked me not to. He wanted Marcus to have one final chance. Claire stood behind Mom. Marcus called you a failure. I know. Dad knew he would. He predicted it word for word. They left. I sat alone in the courtroom for a minute, then drove to the new office. My phone showed 23 missed calls from Marcus by the time I arrived. Voicemail 1. We need to talk about this. Voicemail 7. This is insane. Voicemail 15. You can't do this to family. Voicemail 23. I'm getting lawyers. Real lawyers. Deleted all of them without listening past the first few seconds. Marcus's lawyer called him that evening. I know because Marcus posted about it in the family group chat before Claire screenshot it and sent it to me. I reviewed everything again. Partnership agreement is bulletproof. Capital contributions are verified. Client documentation is extensive. No viable contest. Marcus drove to the old company office. I wasn't there to see it. But Tom, the foreman, sent me photos. Marcus standing in the empty building. No desks, no computers, no equipment, no files, just empty rooms and furniture nobody wanted. He called Dennis, our IT contractor. Where is everything? Moved over the weekend, per the ownership transfer. Where? Ask your brother. Marcus tried his office. Key didn't work. Locks changed. He sat in the empty building. Tom said he was there for 2 hours. Just sitting. A moving invoice was left on the floor. $12,400 for complete office relocation. Marcus realized something sitting in that empty building. I'd planned everything. Not just the legal structure. Not just the partnership. Everything. Marcus spent 30 days thinking he inherited a company. Turns out he inherited 4 empty walls and a furniture lease. Everything that mattered, the people, the clients, the equipment, walked out the door with his brother. Legally. Over the next few days, Marcus tried to salvage something, called our biggest client, Henderson Development, $200,000 annual revenue. We need to discuss our ongoing contract. Our contract is with your brother's new LLC, not you. I own the original company. Our legal team reviewed the contract assignment. It follows the IP rights, which transferred to your brother per the partnership agreement. Client 2. Same conversation. Client 3. Same result. 14 clients. 14 identical responses. Marcus's 27% ownership was 27% of nothing. No employees, no clients, no equipment, no IP. He filed an emergency motion to block the transfer. Judge reviewed it. Denied it within 24 hours. All transfers were legal and properly documented. An independent assessor valued Marcus's 27%, $0. My 73% transferred to the new LLC with all assets included, valued at $1.1 million. The company had grown in the transition. Marcus posted an angry rant on Facebook, called me a thief, called Dad a manipulator, called the whole thing a conspiracy. His lawyer called within the hour. Delete that immediately or you'll be sued for defamation. Everything in that will was legal. Marcus deleted the post. His account went silent. He'd burned $8,400 on emergency legal motions in 5 days. All denied. Marcus had nothing, and that was exactly what he'd earned. 2 weeks after the real will reading, Marcus's wife called me. I was in a client meeting. Let it go to voicemail. Listened to it during lunch. Her voice was steady, tired. The kind of tired that comes from dealing with someone who's given up. He's been crying for 3 days, won't eat, won't sleep, won't talk to anyone. Pause. I know what he did. I know what he said to you. But can you give him something? A job? Anything? I called her back that evening. Dad's offer still stands: employment contract, $68,000 annual salary. 5-year path to his 27%. He'll never work under you. Then he chooses poverty. She hung up. The family group chat, which I'd muted weeks ago, showed 43 unread messages when I checked it later. Mom had posted, "Your father planned this because Marcus wasn't ready to lead." Claire added, "Maybe actually working would have been better than waiting for a handout." Uncle David, Dad's younger brother, retired contractor, wrote, "Entitlement destroys men. Work builds them." Marcus's response, "You're all against me." No one replied to that. Marcus left the group chat an hour later. His wife filed for separation the following week. Not divorce? Not yet. But separation. Marcus moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. $1,100 a month. The kind of place with thin walls and parking lot security lights that buzz all night. His bank account showed $4,200 after legal fees. He applied for jobs. Sales manager positions mostly. Territory management. Business development. Multiple interviews. No offers. Background checks revealed the lawsuit against family. Red flag for HR departments. Week 3, Marcus filed a lawsuit. Breach of fiduciary duty, fraud, emotional distress. Filing cost $1,800. Lawyer retainer $15,000. He put it on a credit card. My lawyer filed a motion to dismiss. Hearing scheduled for week 5. The judge, different courtroom, reviewed the case in about 10 minutes. Read the partnership agreement, the capital contribution records, the will documentation. Looked at Marcus's lawyer. Plaintiff demonstrates no breach. Partnership was legal, documented, and mutually beneficial to the company. Will execution followed proper procedure. Looked at Marcus. This lawsuit borders on frivolous. Case dismissed with prejudice. The judge ordered Marcus to pay my legal fees. $8,200. Marcus couldn't pay. My lawyer filed a lien against his 27% shares. Worthless shares, but the lien was symbolic. Marcus's total legal spending hit $25,000. Credit cards maxed. His lawyer refused further representation without upfront payment. Marcus tried to sell his shares. Posted them on business broker websites. 27% of Chen Construction. No buyer's shares had no value without the employment component, and Marcus had proven he wouldn't accept employment. Week 6, Marcus decided to start his own company. Registered an LLC, Marcus Chen Construction Services. Designed a website, ordered business cards, created marketing materials, borrowed $6,300 from a friend to cover startup costs, contacted our old clients, offered better rates, faster timelines, more personal attention. 12 ignored his emails. 2 declined politely. Marcus had no crew, no equipment, no reputation beyond being the entitled son who sued his family. He landed one project small residential job deck repair, $4,800. Hired day laborers. Rented equipment. Bought materials. Project ran over budget. 5,100 in costs on 4,800 revenue. Lost $300 on his first job. Client left a review. 2 stars. Disorganized. Went over timeline. Wouldn't recommend. Marcus posted ads on social media. Posted in contractor groups. Reached out to his network. No responses. Week 8, he closed the company. Total loss $6,800. During those same 8 weeks, my company landed 3 new clients. $240,000 in new contracts. 3 months after the will reading, Marcus showed up at my office. Our receptionist, woman named Sarah, who'd been with the company for 6 years, called my extension. "Your brother's in the lobby, says you'll see him. Tell him I'm in meetings all day." Marcus waited anyway. I watched him on the security camera feed, sitting in the lobby, checking his phone, looking at the walls. Other employees walked past, recognized him, avoided eye contact. He waited 2 hours. I came out at 4:30. 3 minutes. Marcus stood. "I need a job. I'm broke. Melissa left. I lost the house. Dad's offer is still valid. I'm not working for you." "Then we're done. I'm your brother. You called me a failure in front of my son, told me the door was that way. I was angry. You were honest. You've been honest about how you see me for 33 years. Now you live with it. Please, I have nothing. You had everything. 8 years to learn. Dad's offer of mentorship and 27%. One final chance to show character." I turned to go. "You chose entitlement every time. What am I supposed to do?" I didn't turn back. "Build something yourself, like I did." Closed my office door. Marcus left. 3 months earlier, Marcus had a company, a wife, a house, and 27% of a $1 million business waiting for him if he just swallowed his pride. Now he had credit card debt and an empty apartment. Choices have consequences. 1 year after Dad's death, we held a company anniversary party. 30 years since Dad founded Chen Construction. New office. 50 attendees. Employees, clients, some family. Company stats displayed on a screen near the entrance. Annual revenue, $1.4 million. Up from $891,000. Employees, 22. Up from 14. Client retention, 100%. New clients, 8. My son, now 15, gave a short speech. "Grandpa taught my dad that legacy isn't inherited. It's built in silence and destroyed by arrogance." People applauded. I saw someone through the window, standing in the parking lot. "Marcus." I excused myself. Walked outside. He was thinner, older, wore clothes that had been nice once but weren't anymore. Company looked successful. Dad would be proud of the team. I got a job, warehouse supervisor, $42,000 a year. That's honest work. I made mistakes. You made choices. Silence. Can we start over? No, but you can start. New city, new career, new life. Just not here. Marcus nodded, started walking to his car, stopped. Was there any scenario where I kept the company? Yes, except the employment terms. Work 5 years. Earn your 27%. Dad designed that path specifically. Would you have actually mentored me? Yes, that's what Dad wanted. That's what I wanted. But respect can't be negotiated. Marcus got in his car. Old sedan. Scratched paint. Drove away. I went back inside. No reconciliation. Clean ending. After the party, I sat alone in my office. Photo on the wall. Dad and me at a construction site. Both wearing hard hats. Both smiling. Plaque below. Legacy is built in silence. My son came in. Everyone left. Mom's waiting in the car. I'll be right there. He looked at the photo. Was Grandpa really planning this the whole time? He gave your uncle every chance. 8 years of chances. He also prepared for reality. Do you think Uncle Marcus will be okay? Eventually, some people need to lose everything to find themselves. Would you have worked with him if he'd accepted? Yes, that's what Dad wanted. But he had to want it too. I'm glad you protected Grandpa's legacy. That's what family does. Real family. I turned off the lights. Last look at Dad's photo. We left together. Here's what this story actually teaches. Legacy isn't about what you're given. It's about what you build, what you protect, and what you choose to become. The dad spent 8 years testing both sons. One built relationships, earned trust, documented everything, prepared for responsibility. The other showed up for ceremonies and waited for a handout. When the test came, Marcus had 60 seconds to demonstrate character. He called his brother a failure and pointed to the door. That one moment revealed 8 years of entitlement. The hero didn't destroy his brother. He just removed the safety net and let gravity work. Sometimes the cruelest thing you can do to someone isn't revenge. It's giving them exactly what they asked for. Marcus wanted to run the company without his brother? He got it. An empty building with no clients, no employees, and no value. He wanted respect without earning it? He got loneliness instead. The real lesson? You can't inherit character. You can't inherit work ethic. You can't inherit relationships. You can only inherit things. And things without the character to maintain them become nothing. This dad knew that he built his test accordingly, and both sons got exactly what they earned.